Here with Olivia Applegate, and she is in a new movie called Oregon Trail, and that is in theaters now, but it's coming to digital May 12th. Olivia, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Good.
Can you tell me a little bit about this movie, not to be confused with the game Oregon Trail?
Right, exactly.
I could just picture like a family wandering in and going,
Oh, whoops. Yeah, right. Check the spelling. The spelling is very important, right? Yeah, well, our Oregon Trail follows a woman as she tries to survive on the Oregon Trail after sort of bloodthirsty group of bandits terrorize her family. And so it's a movie about a woman's will to survive, which is very cool and exciting and intense.
mhm.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about your character. Uh,
Yeah.
and who is she and what is she like? Obviously from what you're saying so far, she's super resilient and, kind of badass.
Yeah, right. Well, so I play Cassidy in the movie, and I would say that Cassidy is not who she appears to be exactly at the beginning. And so I was really drawn to her because she's got a pretty interesting and cool arc throughout the course of the movie. But she's a person who's really, really been through stuff and has had a very, very hard life. And I think Cassidy goes on an arc of rediscovering who she is as a person and learning how to trust and connect again.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, which
But
was very cool. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you're no, no, you're fine. I was just curious, is that what made you say yes to this role? When you read the script?
Yeah. Right. Well, yes, I would say that Cassidy is in so many ways a total bucket list role as an actor, at least for me. Because yeah, one, I mean, it's a period piece Western thriller. That just sounds cool and exciting and fun to get to do. You
So
know,
many
who
boxes checked off.
Right? And who doesn't want to go to Montana for a month and a half and just enjoy the beauty that is that state, you know?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think that for me, it was a nice, fun departure from what I normally get cast in. I'm normally like sort of sweetheart leading lady or professional woman type roles. And Cassidy, on the other hand, is I don't want to give anything away, but she's not like that. She's very different. She's brooding, she's dark, she's really been through something. And I thought that it would be a really fun stretch. But I also just think she's a deeply human character. I think we can all relate to being wounded at some point in our lives. So I really had a lot of empathy for her.
I
Yeah.
I love I love the thriller horror genre because it really allows for some strong female characters.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I also think it's really cool and something that bringing that's kind of fresh to the genre, at least for Westerns, is that it is a female-led piece. The
Mhm.
protagonists are female. It's about women being badass in a Western, much more than it is about the male leads, and I just think that's fun and exciting and cool to get to see. And
Mhm.
then it is definitely a thriller, so get ready for some jump scares, etc.
It's a whole lot of hype. You mentioned being able to go to Montana for the shoot, and
Yeah,
what talk to me about that, the whole experience of the shoot. How long was it? When did you shoot?
right. I believe it ended up being about 5 or 6 weeks. I think maybe I was there 6 weeks and we shot for 5 weeks, something like that. A little over a month and a half.
Mhm.
And I love Montana. Actually, my brother and his wife and their kids live in Montana. And so I try to get there at least once or twice a year. And I'm pretty outdoorsy. I grew up camping and hiking and doing all of that. And so it was really, really nice to like return to nature. And I just think it's a fun thing we get to do. And when you're in the entertainment industry, is that like, you can go to a mountain range in Montana and that's your office for the day. I
Yeah.
just think that's cool. But I will say we were also shooting January, February in
Oh
Montana.
God.
It's very cold. And yeah, the whole movie is outside, pretty much, basically. And
Mhm.
so I flew in for the job from Houston. And the day I flew out of Houston, it was 80 degrees. And when I landed in Montana, I think it was like 15. And so, yeah, that was like the greatest physical challenge, was just the actual temperatures we were shooting in.
Mhm.
But shout out to the production. They did a great job keeping everybody warm. But yeah, it was like a
Ugh.
bit grueling, the
Well,
temperatures.
was it like that dry cold that is tolerable, or was it like that damp, nasty cold that just gets into your bones?
Right. Well, both happened, but I
Oh,
can say that most of the time it was a drier cold. But we did have some snowy days, and we did have a day that it was like -21 with the wind chill. Yeah, and so the insides of our noses were freezing, the cameras were freezing. We had to do like a half day because the cameras wouldn't work. It was too cold.
oh my gosh. So it was an experience, is what you're saying.
It was a bit method acting in some of those things because you just actually were that cold,
Forced method acting. Um,
right?
yeah, so are you a horror fan or
I am. Well, I will say that being an actor made me a horror fan, I would say, because
okay?
prior to that, I didn't really seek out that genre. I didn't really watch it, but I've actually been in several horrors now, and I'm about to go fly out to shoot another thriller. And I really enjoy it. I think the genre allows for some really, really interesting storytelling packaged in a really high impact um genre that you really feel something when you watch these movies, and I think that's cool. I think people are drawn to that.
Do you have any favorites aside from Oregon Trail?
Right, exactly. I'm like, the ones that I've been in.
The one I'm promoting.
Well, I would say Texas Chainsaw Massacre weirdly has a special place in my heart because I'm from Texas,
Okay.
but it's so scary. It was so scary. Like I can't. I watched the first one and I was like, oh, this is very scary.
Yeah, that one's rough. And when it came out, it was like they were saying it was based on a true story, which it was, but a story that had very little really to do with. But anyway, so when it came
Right.
out, you're like, oh my God, you know.
Yeah, but all I remembered about it was that it was based on a true story. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I am a tiny girl in Texas. Oh God. Like, I was like, the math was very scary at the time. Yeah.
Well, so what makes Oregon Trail something unique that people should really be jumping to see?
Yeah. Well, I really love that. I think it's a fresh take. I think it's very cool to have a Western thriller, right? I just think that that combination is fun and exciting. You get the best of both worlds,
Mhm.
but then also that it's a film that centers female protagonists. That is a Western thriller, and I just think that's cool. I think that's really exciting, and I think it's a truly fresh take. But I'd
Mhm.
also say that I think it deals with really cool, really human themes of like belonging. What are you worth fighting for? Like, what's worth fighting for to you?
Sure.
And I just think that people are going to watch this movie and ask themselves, meaningful questions about what matters to them whilst being very entertained and very scared. Yeah.
While peeking through their hands.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, like doing this.
well, again, Olivia, it was an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, same. You
And
too,
thank you
Norm.
so much for taking the time. Everybody, Oregon Trail, it's out right now in
Woo!
theaters. Comes to digital on May 12th if you just don't want to go outside. So, um, Olivia, thank you so much and best of luck on this release.
Thank you so much. What a delight. Thanks, Norman.
All right, take care.